Woo!
What's up? Back with a brand new Virtue Grade, something we have not done for a while, ever since Facebook took off the split screen on Facebook Live. But back with me is Big G. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. What's going on? It's good to be back on video with you. It's been a while since I've been on the review. Hopefully I'll be back next week, Thursday, on the review. Other than that, man, just working, grinding every single day, the essential workers that we are. How are things going down there with you?
So far, so good. I think the county that I live in doesn't have like a lot of the cases, and obviously they have some coronavirus cases and deaths, but
Yeah.
I'm just trying to social distance, making sure I stay healthy and wearing masks and gloves and doing sanitizer and all that stuff.
Yep.
As much as I can. Hopefully this all passes and we can get back to normal sports.
Yep. It's speaking of which, we heard yesterday that WWE is essential now.
McMahon gets Florida a bunch of money, and then the governor says WWE is an essential. I don't know. There's a lot of conspiracy things going on right now, especially even with the XFL. And McMahon said, "Oh no, WWE has nothing to do with the XFL," and it seems like some of the funding was. It's just a nightmare, absolute nightmare, and they're trying to cover their tracks and cover their asses on certain things, I think.
Yeah. It's like I said, I was reading the article and you mentioned Linda McMahon like giving Florida like 18 point some $million or whatever it was, and next thing you know, WWE is an essential. But then we don't hear anything about AEW being essential, but it's in the same ballpark. So
they'll have to let them be. I mean, at that point.
Yeah. So
I don't know. Wrestling fans, like, there is nothing. No wrestling's ever essential ever, and there's so many things that bother me today. Like, I know we've talked about this. Creative shitty, the new style of matches when it's done at that rate. Every match has to be long and all these kick out. It gets old.
Yeah.
But I want to side a little bit here with Ronda Rousey, whether it's a work or not.
Yeah.
When her character or her says that wrestling fans are ungrateful, it's the absolute truth.
It is.
I used to be that way. When I didn't get the couple, like the Jericho or whoever I liked didn't go over, and it was like Cena, or whatever they did, I'd get upset, and I'd think Cena was awful and say he sucks. And today I see people, they do that. Anybody that's pushed by the company, they hate. You know what I mean? Oh, they can't draw, or this or that, or they can't wrestle. They get hurt all the time. And all people want to do is constantly complain because there's social media, and when they send that little message out, they feel better about themselves.
Yeah.
So I know wrestling has a lot of things wrong with it today. A lot of stuff I don't like, and I say what I don't like.
Yeah.
But I also put stuff over that I think, like when the workers work hard. You know what I mean? Once in a while, we will get a good feud. There will be a good storyline. It's few and far between. So I'm not afraid to try to split it 50-50, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's 60-40. I'll like 60% of the stuff and hate 40% of the stuff, and then it switches. But I'm never going to be that one that likes everything, which I get accused of, which I don't know why. But I'm not going to be that guy that hates everything either. I'm going to try to keep it split. What about you?
See, me, I mean, I try to find the positive in everything. But, I mean, if I'm going to hate something, I'm just not going to put it out on social media because I know people are going to hate it or, react the wrong way or whatnot. So I'm just gonna what I like. I'm just gonna put on social media and just keep the negativity off of there because, like you said, there's so much negativity on social media, and what's the point? Because then if I put something on social media and then they're gonna say, "Oh, I was wrong for that" or something like that, So I'm just gonna keep it positive, Like I said last night, I said, "All right, let's see how Raw goes," And we all know how Raw and SmackDown have been in the past couple of years, but now you really have no crowd. They're limited to what they can do, and they're just making the best out of everything right now. They're trying to keep us entertained because there's nothing really else going on, sport wise with NFL and baseball and all that other stuff. So, I keep it real. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't sugarcoat anything. I just keep it real.
People have to be angry all the time, and they don't want to. Like there's times where I'll really get behind my opinions and takes, and I'll push forward real hard with it. But at the same time, I still listen to everybody. Yeah. I don't call people, every single person that disagrees with me stupid unless it's a troll. And on Twitter, there's a lot of those. There are people out there, if you don't agree with them 100%, you're the stupidest person in the world. And that's what I'm talking about with this Ronda Rousey. A lot of wrestling fans are that way. They're ungrateful. They're fair weather. You know what I mean? And if they don't think they're, getting what they want, then they're going to badmouth everything. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if it's a work or not, maybe this whole Ronda Rousey thing is a work to help get Shayna Baszler over since they're and Shayna's using it a little bit. So we'll have to see. But, I'm not going to be one of those that, oh, God, Ronda Rousey, you're ridiculous. And then, same with Jerry Lawler's comment on Tozawa with the ramen noodles moonsault. Yeah. Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and get offended by every little thing. No. Now, here's the thing. Most of the people, and I put this on Twitter, and of course the one person that I knew was going to bite on the tweet did, most of the people that get upset about these things are white males. And I guess I'm a white male that gets upset about everything. Again, that's just somebody's narrative. Yeah. So yeah, people that aren't of the race or ethnicity getting made fun of just need to shut up. You know what I mean? They think they're making a difference in this world, but that's the culture of wrestling fans in 2020. Yeah. It's been this way for a few years now because of social media. Yeah. Now, let's go back to SmackDown. Okay. So Goldberg beats The Fiend. And we know why it happened, because they were going to put Roman over Goldberg. Yeah. For whatever reason, they wanted to use Goldberg as the crutch to get Roman over, but everything that happened with the coronavirus, Roman didn't compete. It ended up being Strowman. Okay? Roman wasn't anywhere near the title picture. But obviously they wanted to get it off Goldberg because the plan was to put it on Roman. Now we're going to have a Fiend and Strowman feud. So all of this stuff, as bad as it was for the Fiend to lose to Goldberg, for Roman, to say, hey, I want to stay healthy. I don't want to take a chance. I'm not going to perform. Yeah. Is this a good thing now that it's going to be Fiend and Strowman? What do you think happens from this? We got to think Roman's not going to come back anytime soon while there's this virus going around. Yeah. It's done. It's got to be done, right? That's why I dropped the title. Yeah. So they're going full straight steam ahead with Strowman as the champ, and now Fiend back in the title picture. What do you think is going to become of this?
Well, they do have the history. Bray Wyatt did bring in Strowman back in the day with the Wyatt family, so I could see something good coming out of this because they could possibly have maybe another Firefly Funhouse match with Strowman in it. And we'll see. I mean, they could have a good couple of matches, and then eventually, when everything does calm down, you still have Reigns win the title, maybe make it a triple threat between the three of them. Because, like we said before, the Fiend really doesn't need the title.
And that's the thing. If they were going to have him drop to Goldberg the way they did it, and Goldberg, let's face it, it was a squash match. Because Goldberg can't go more than 3 or 4 minutes. No. Okay? No. All of the matches are that way. And when they go longer than that, look what happens, Undertaker. It's just, they put the title on the Fiend back in Saudi Arabia back in November or whenever it was, and they painted themselves into a corner. You're right. Bray Wyatt doesn't need a title. And everybody, people out there that don't like Bray Wyatt, oh, he was a failed champion, this and that. Like, first of all, not everything is going to be a main event Austin Rock type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wrestling need good upper mid card guys. Like Mick Foley, he was never a headliner, but he got to the main event because he put his body on the line, okay? And it worked out. And not it's hard. Once in a generation, is there a guy that comes along that's a headliner? Yeah. Now, the Attitude Era, we got a few of them. There are at least two with Austin The Rock.
Yep.
So The Fiend is perfectly fine in this role, but they're going to have him in a title picture. And you know what? Since they do, I hope he wins it back. And I hope he has a very long reign. And you know what I'd like for them to do? Figure out a way where he can work a little bit more. I know they're trying to keep him healthy. So, some people, Bray Wyatt critics, say he gets hurt a lot. Well, he's been hurt a couple of times. But, if you go back and look at his match library, he's had a lot of really good matches. Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, John Cena. I'm sure there's a lot more, too.
Oh, and
they're very very good matches.
Yeah.
So, again, it's a narrative that people paint because they don't like a character that somebody's portraying or they don't like their style. And I used to be guilty of that, hating John Cena. And now I try to give pretty much every wrestler the benefit of the doubt. And when I like guys like Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt, there are people that come at you to tell you they suck. What kind of wrestling world are we living in when fans can't accept other fans' opinions of who they like or who they think is good?
Yeah.
They
feel like they're entitled. They feel like they pretty much can say whatever they want to, like you said. And I don't know if it's this generation of fans, it's just it's complicated.
Some of the workers are fans themselves that got into the business, and they put out the drama too.
Yeah.
And they have to do, show they're happy in a relationship, and they post the sexy pictures online. Are they that insecure? Do they need that much attention? I could have never imagined Sensational Sherry, Luna Vachon, Bam Bam Bigelow, Iron Sheik, back in the day, bringing their business on Twitter and getting upset at fans. Yeah. They would have just ignored everything and then called them all marks behind their backs and, went to the next town to get their next paycheck. Yeah. Boy, his business changed. And again,
it has
websites, the dirt, people want the dirt. How funny is it that fans want the dirt and want to know, but then when Ronda Rousey says wrestling's fake, even if it's a work, they get all pissy. Yeah. But they want to know everything about the business behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
It's funny that you mentioned, everybody knows that everybody knows that wrestling is fake. I mean, okay, granted, when I was a younger kid, I didn't know it was fake. But, as soon as I got older and older and realized it, I was like, okay, this is fake, but I'm still going to watch it because I'm entertained by it. But it's people who think it's, I don't know. People just, like I said before, people are entitled. They want to do whatever they feel like doing and saying what they want to say and not really caring about anybody else's opinions or whatnot. So.
Oh, it's nuts. Now, anything else? With these empty arena shows, it is hard for me to remember the non-things, the things that I'm not as interested in.
Yeah.
Anything SmackDown that stood out to you from this past SmackDown, besides we just talked about Strowman and Wyatt maybe now getting in a program?
Don't make fun of me, but I'm still digging the whole, Mandy Rose and Otis thing, and with the whole Dolph Ziggler and
that's fine.
So
I hate that story. I just wanted Ziggler. I wanted them to stretch it longer to make people think it was never gonna get the girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would have just liked them because if you watch the way the soap operas used to be on TV, well, there used to be a dozen of them. Now there's like 4. They stretched things out for like just months and months, and then finally, when it was like sweeps week, they would deliver. But my only criticism is Ziggler should have had a nice lengthy run, and Mandy, you would have just thought that, Otis was never going to get to where he needed to.
Yeah.
And then they would have done it when fans finally gave up. They would have done it, and then the fans could have been more surprised instead of expecting it at WrestleMania, and then it happened.
Yeah.
See, when you expect something and it happens, I always think that you should be let down, and then when you're not expecting it, then you pull the trigger, and then the fans are like, "Oh my God!" And then it kind of creates a buzz again,
I mean, you got to think about it though. They did kind of. I mean, they could have maybe done another month or so, but I mean, they had started back in December, with the whole Christmas thing and Mandy giving Otis a kiss on the cheek, and then the ham and all this stuff leading up to the Valentine's Day date, and then Otis getting stood up, or Ziggler showing up instead, and then we find out from this sort of Mr. Robot kind of guy, kind of PG era GTV, showing what actually happened and stuff, and then Otis getting the WrestleMania moment.
It was a Vince Russo idea, and Vince McMahon just didn't understand it back then.
Yeah.
They're basically doing that with this angle right now, and of course, fans are eating it up. And I wonder how many of those fans that love that or that hate Vince Russo, ultimately they love an angle where a Vince Russo idea is being presented.
Yeah, it's crazy. Trying to think. I mean, other than those two things, you have that whole SmackDown Tag Team Championship thing going on, and so did this SmackDown that they did after WrestleMania, was that before WrestleMania because The Miz was still there, or was that like after WrestleMania they taped that?
No, it was before. Okay. Yeah, last week's shows were still before. Starting Monday, it was live again.
Okay. So yeah, we'll see how that ends up. It seems like they only use like those 3 big tag teams, and then like they'll fade away, and then you'll have another tag team.
Top 3.
Yeah, the top 3 tag teams, literally. It's crazy.
What about Raw? I mean, I know these are empty arena shows, so there's not too much to talk about. We know what happened at the end, so before we get to that, and I know that's got some criticism.
So they had this SmackDown coming up, they'll have some of the men's qualifying and women's qualifying.
For the Money in the Bank, man.
Money in the Bank. So let me ask you this.
Asuka advanced, and of course, because Asuka advanced, you weren't going to have Asuka and Kairi Sane. They were going to have Nia Jax. You know what I mean? Like, people get so upset about.
So, I don't know if you saw my tweet yesterday, but I tweeted out, will Shayna Baszler be the next Miss Money in the Bank? And as soon as I posted that, oh no, she shouldn't win it. They should give it to somebody else, and this and that. I'm like, she's already feuding with Becky. I was like, yeah, but she's got to earn her right to face Becky again. So of course,
doesn't want to agree with anybody. They don't like it. Wrestling fans don't like anything.
No.
They don't like themselves. They look themselves in the mirror and don't like themselves.
There you go. But the way I like how they did the match with Shayna, they're still showing her as this dominant fighter.
And still, coronavirus.
Oh.
That's all good. That was an allergy sneeze.
And then
not editing that out.
The way they ended that, I guess you can call it an angle, because the match, how she stepped on her arm,
yeah.
the way they made it looked like she legitimately like stomped on her arm, and I'm sure it's not broken or anything. They're just working us because they have nothing else for Sarah Logan to do anymore right now. So, but I'm sure this women's Money in the Bank ladder match will be pretty decent, and I mean, and the men's as well coming up in May. Huh?
It's going to be empty arena.
Yeah. Well, because originally it was supposed to be at Royal Farms Arena in May in Baltimore, but they canceled that event too already. So So we don't even know, you know, this if things don't start looking up with this coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it. I mean, we possibly could have empty arenas at the Performance Center and what AEW is doing good until like July or August time. I hate to say it, but I've seen reports that so many people have recovered already from the coronavirus, but if people are doing what they're supposed to and wearing some kind of protective thing or something like that, and you're not going out when you don't really need to and stuff like that, and staying the freak home, then everything will go back to normal. But
like let's move forward to Raw. Like Drew McIntyre is the WWE champion.
Yep.
Of course, you'll like this. They had that little, just for Raw, they had a little feud with Andrade, bringing up the old NXT stuff that happened back in the day with the injury when Andrade beat Drew for the NXT title. And of course, Drew, who once lost half of his matches, maybe even more,
to Ricochet.
Now he's unstoppable and he can't lose because that's how WWE books.
Yep.
Nothing against Drew, it's just shitty booking.
That's how look how they did with Kofi, before he was WWE champion, he was losing, he became champion, he was winning, and now he's, back in the tag team titles picture, which I think he really belongs in because I think he's more of a tag team guy than a singles guy. What was that?
Ricochet?
No, Kofi.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot him long ago. But yeah, so the moral of the story with Drew is you would think, hey, who's going to be a contender for him? Now, he's a baby face.
Yeah.
So what happens? Kevin Owens gets his WrestleMania moment and against Seth Rollins, but at the end of Raw, Seth Rollins attacks Drew, which clearly says probably a program versus Drew. Yeah. Now, are they going to get Rollins or Owens mixed in with this maybe too? Because this would not make sense. Why would Owens just let Rollins go after McIntyre's title? This has to turn into a multi-feud. What do you think?
I could see that possibly happening.
Because no matter if Owens did anything else, he'd look stupid. Oh, I beat Rollins, but I'll let him go fight for the title. I'll go and do this other thing now in the mid-card. It'll make it so stupid.
The Raw after Mania, Owens did mention, at once he was a prize fighter. So he's like, maybe I should go back to doing that. So I could see them inserting Owens as, he's more, he is a babyface, but I guess you could have him in there too and have two baby faces against one heel, or turn Owens heel again for some ungodly known reason and have the two heels against the brash baby face, who can Claymore you out of nowhere pretty much. So we'll see. If not, the possibility I could see is maybe having KO going against Andrade for the U.S. title.
Oh, what a consolation prize. And you just let the guy that you beat. Like, that's what I'm saying. They're just bad. Vince McMahon sometimes truly is out of touch. And it's the logic. It's just logic. You know what I mean? I'm not favoring one guy or the other. It's just logic. You have to have logic with this.
I'm trying to think. Do you think Vince is at the Performance Center, or do you think he's staying at home trying to protect himself from this coronavirus?
He's a private jet, flies there, and whether he's wearing he doesn't believe in sick, so he's definitely there.
Yeah,
he's definitely there.
Yeah,
when they do.
And then he'd be going, "This is such good shit, pal." And then he's, I don't know, but Drew McIntyre. It's good that he's finally won the WWE title after You know, back in 2001, you know, when Vince said he's the chosen one, he's the future world champion.
It wasn't that far. It was like 2008 or 9.
Yeah. No. Like I said, we'll see how this goes. You know, I'm sure they'll have the match at Money in the Bank. Hopefully they do insert Owens into the feud. Like you said, you know, it'd be stupid not to, because he beat Rollins at WrestleMania, but then Rollins is getting this title shot and Owens isn't. So we'll see. We will see.
So what do you think is going to happen with Becky Lynch? I know I don't care about the SmackDown Women's Championship scene. You know, we know Charlotte's the NXT. And we all know my thoughts about her winning the Rumble and accepting Rhea Ripley's challenge.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to talk about that, but since Becky is the Raw Women's Champion and she's the man and she's had the belt since WrestleMania last year,
yeah,
I think the end game is here for her and Shayna, anybody else getting in the mix. Will Rousey come back? Is this an ultimate work? Or is Rousey just doing this to help Shayna from a distance and really it will not come back, but she's just trying to get Shayna some heat? What do you think? This will be our main event here. Is the man, Becky Lynch, headline Mania last year.
Yeah, well, she's had
by pinning Rousey, and Rousey gets all this controversy. What do you think?
Oh, Becky's had the title for over a year now. And everybody was thinking at WrestleMania that Shayna was going to win the title. And, of course, everybody was wrong. And for whoever picked Becky, you know, that was going to retain. Good on them. But it's this whole man gimmick, you know, it started back when Nia Jax busted her nose.
Yep.
And, you know, she became the man, you know, this sort of Austin Mystique kind of thing, you know, but in today's WWE, it just feels dead with me with the whole Becky Lynch and the man thing, you know. Either be, you know, go back to this Celtic person that you were before, or try to reinvent yourself and do something different. I want to see Shayna win the title because it'll be something different, and I know people would hate the shit out of it if she does.
Would they hate her winning it or Ronda coming back and winning it? What would they hate more?
I think it'd be about the same. They'd shit on both of them. They'd hate Ronda because she came back and won the title, and they're gonna call her a part-timer because she hasn't been there in almost a year, and they're gonna hate Shayna winning it because she's affiliated with Ronda, and the type of what's the word I'm thinking of? Like how Shayna does her match is nice and slow and methodical, you know, and people don't like that. Like you said, they like the fast-paced matches and stuff.
A submission wrestler.
Yeah, and you know, so
pound.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm sure WWE and I'm sure Vince doesn't like Shayna Baszler that much either, because you know Vince doesn't like anybody from NXT. I could possibly see Nia Jax getting into the mix, you know, since she's back, and her and Becky having a feud. You know, Becky still, I don't know if Becky ever got, you know, her quote unquote revenge against Nia for breaking her nose back, you know, prior to the Survivor Series, 2 years ago now or something like that. So, because I mean, who else do you have? Asuka, she's already beaten twice, I think, in this year, or last year and this year. And then, you know, you got the Riot Squad, you know, there's no credibility with them. Kairi Sane, maybe, possibly. Lana, no chance in hell. You know what? Hold that thought. Bianca Belair. I mean, I was telling my fiance the other day when, you know, Bianca made her debut on Raw. I was like, well, I could see if they don't go with Shayna, they could possibly go with Bianca. But after what I saw last night with her and the Street Profits, I think Bianca is going to be more of a ballet type thing with the Street Profits, and then just have matches here and there with Zelina, it looks like, or, but I hate to say it, but I'm just tired of seeing Becky Lynch as champion. I mean, yeah, it's nice that they gave her this nice lengthy run, but, in WWE, they switch titles left and right, back and forth, every couple months or so. But I guess Vince is so high on Becky, he's like, well, this is such good shit, pal, that we're just going to keep the title on her for, as long as we want to, because we're shoving Becky down people's throats now because we know people don't like Becky anymore.
Well, and they're not in the main event without Ronda Rousey. Is that not a fact?
Yep.
There's been a couple main events after Rousey departed, but not, boy, what happened to the Evolution pay-per-view, main event Mania?
Yep.
And that's where we're at. That's just where we're at. Ronda Rousey was why it was main evented. But, again, we'll have to see what happens. They just don't build their stars like they should. Shame on them for not making Becky feel more important. That's on WWE Creative.
Yeah.
So that's all I got, man. I know we haven't done this for a while, but anything else you want to add?
Not really. I mean, AEW real quick. I mean, they're doing the best they can too. They're pushing a little bit more, with having some of the roster being out ringside, giving a little bit of a vibe with a small audience, but they're doing what they can too. They're very limited. I don't know, to be honest, I'm a little bit more entertained with AEW than like Raw and SmackDown. But it is what it is.
Matt Hardy are there,
Yeah, yeah, Jericho, Matt Hardy.
They got some good key components there. So,
yeah.
And we'll have to see if they're considered essential too now, because it'll be really biased if WWE gets it, but AEW doesn't. And Linda McMahon threw some money down Florida's way. So we will have to stay tuned to that one. Yeah. That will be very interesting. But go ahead and do your plugs, man.
Yep. So NoDQ.com/Big G takes you to my Twitter page. NoDQ under Big Score. NoDQ _Big G on Instagram. Jeff Hilt on Facebook. Go to NoDQ.com/merch for the latest merch. Other than that, that's it for Big G. Virtue, take us home, brother.
Everybody knows to follow me on Twitter or at NoDQ_Virtue and on Facebook, NoDQ.com/Virtue. That's all I got. So this was good times. Virtue's rage. I don't know if I really raged, other than yes, I did take shots at the fickle wrestling fans like I always do. So for that makes me feel better. I hope it makes you feel better. But thanks for watching Virtue's Rage. Virtue with Big G, everybody. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.